Welcome back to the Art of MMA. I'm your host, Amal Thompson, and I am with my co-host.
Roger.
Yes.
Yeah.
UFC 322 is upon us. We are, a little over 15 hours away? Am I doing math right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Close enough.
close enough. And
Mm-hmm.
loaded slate, super loaded slate from early prelims all the way to the title fight. A lot of these fighters we are very familiar with. We're excited to go over each one. Um, and then kind of give you guys value and see how we see a lot of these fights playing out. How you doing today, Roger?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Amal?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic. Um, I'm gonna hop into the slate and we'll start pulling up. I think the first fight actually starts off with a pretty solid matchup of
Mm-hmm.
fighters to kind of get it open. Um, Vyacheslav Borshev versus Matthias Camilo. Right?
Yeah.
They open up the violence of this card. Uh, uh, I think they call him Slav Claus or Viesha Claus, something like that. He was wearing a Santa hat today at the weigh-ins.
Okay.
Apparently his gift is violence, is what they say. Uh,
Okay.
Striker type, going up against a guy like Camilo, who has decent takedown average in the UFC. Takedown accuracy in the UFC and takedown average in the UFC. So, up and comer against a 33-year-old guy who likes to throw the hands. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see this one playing out?
Um, well, they're both really needing to win.
Yeah.
Santa Claus a little more than Camilo because he's a little younger. Um, but you know, 33, you're opening up the prelims. It is on a pay-per-view. You're coming off a loss. If you get another loss, your career with the UFC is in danger. Um,
Serious danger.
Camilla's, yeah, Camilla's coming off a loss too, but as a young guy, uh, you really do want to see him, start to pile up wins. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm gonna go with the old guys. Got a little too much to fight for here.
You think he
Um,
pops him with that power, or do you think he just
I
plays a
do.
smart game?
I mean, I think a little bit of both, but I think his power. Now, I'm not a very knowledgeable person on either one of these guys, so let
Mm-hmm.
me put that out there. But from what I've seen of Borchev, he's good. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to you're not going to get to this level without being good, but he is a top tier guy. Even if he's not that highly ranked, he is still a really good guy. If Camilo gets past him, it'll be good for him. It'll be good for his career. It'll kind of give him a little bit of a boost.
Okay. Okay. Um, I am
What do you think?
heavily on the side of. I do believe that Boyshev needs a win. I think it's this closely rated because it's a competition between experience versus kind of youthful potential. Um, I do not believe Boyshev will get submitted, and if we're gonna hover in the idea that he's here to bring the violence, I think he's gonna play a risky game, and I trust his hands a little bit better against Camilo. So I think I'm riding with Borshev in this one as well. The 33-year-old needs it, man. He needs it. He can't afford to give up another loss at this age.
No.
Like we said, opening the prelims is not where you want to be at his elevated age range. So
Yeah.
he goes in there and he gets a W that's much needed to keep things rolling for him. Which leads into another young prospect on the
Hmm.
card. The banger Sirkuev. Did I say that right? I think I'm slipping on my pronunciations lately.
Sanger
There we go. Baisanger
Susurkayev.
Susurkayev. There you go. Against
Yeah.
Eric Makoniko.
Makanico. Look at me with the
I know
pronunciations
you're
tonight.
the guy. You're the guy for UFC
I'm on it
322.
right
You're
now.
the guy. Um, we saw what Baisanger
What
did
do you?
last fight.
Yeah.
Uh, I think there was still some growing pains in there, which is okay from a debutant, right? They give him another guy who's hittable. Um,
Yeah.
not really doing the best right now. Probably a, you know, take this L and get out kind of situation. And not to make light of the matchup, but I think this is a they want him to get him out of there in the first round type of fight. Um, I could see Bysanger taking a little bit longer to get this accomplished, but McConaughey's there to be hit. I don't think I have much else to really add. I think Bysanger gets this done by finish. Um, the books think so too. It's like minus 220 for him to finish the fight. I just
Oh
don't believe
gosh.
it's in the first round. I feel like McConaughey might be able to find his way out the first round with Bysanger, and
Mm.
then the finish will happen in the second round.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be the the one the UFC is looking to push forward.
Mm-hmm.
But McConaughey is coming off a big win over Brundage,
Mm-hmm.
so he's no slouch. Brundage has been around. I actually watched that fight, and I did like McConaughey in that. I thought he fought a good fight. Um, Bysinger better be on his game. I do think he'll win the fight. Um, but I think he needs to be on his game because if he goes in there and he's overconfident or he um, is not holding his guard well,
Yes.
McConaughey can knock people out. McConaughey's, he doesn't have pillows, so you're going to see how disciplined Bysinger is
Mm-hmm.
with this step up in competition. His first one was not at the level of McConaughey, even though he was good. Um, so Bysinger's going to have to um, really be disciplined to go in there and win. I don't know how his hands are. I've only really got the one fight
Yeah.
to see him, and I know McConaughey's got the hands. I do think Bysinger wins this. I think he's got more weapons. He gets a little shine because he's in the Chimaev camp, and we know how Chimaev is, so he gets a little bit of that to rub off on him. We kind of think he's got a similar way about him, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a good one. But we'll have to see how disciplined he is in this one because McConaughey can catch him too.
So if we believe that McConaughey is a little bit dangerous on the feet, do you see any value in maybe a Bysanger by submission claim on this one? Because he is from that Shemaev camp. Um, and he didn't really get to show too much of that ground game in the first matchup.
It's possible. Um,
Or you feel like you won't even have to play that realm too much?
I don't think he'll have to play that realm as far as actually finishing with it. Now, if it goes to the ground, I could see him finishing, but I could also see it going the distance if he has to keep taking him down.
Mm,
Um, he might be able to pull that submission on him. I don't know how good his stuff is. Mechanico's not a slouch on the
mm-hmm.
ground, so that'll be interesting to see as well. Um, so I think it's
So you say
possible, but I
keep an
think
eye
he's
on this one because I'm just
well.
of the
It
opinion that they're sacrificing McConaughey to Bysanger, but you're saying that this guy has danger in multiple spots.
I think McConaughey definitely has danger in multiple spots. I think the Russian is the favorite for a reason. He's most likely going to walk through this, but the caution I would bring for uh, anybody wanting the sure thing is we don't know much about him, and he's gonna have to be disciplined. And if
Yes.
he's disciplined, maybe he gets it even fast. Discipline doesn't have to last for long. You just have to be able to see those punches coming from the other side and land your own. Um, it's very possible that you see a crazy upset here, but
Mm.
it's not likely.
Okay.
It's not likely. I would say that McConaughey's hands are going to be the biggest problem for Bysanger if there's even a problem there. Um, my caution on this is I've got the one fight that I've seen Bysinger fight, and he
Mm.
did well, but
He showed holes.
uh, it's a little not even that. Just that it's a little bit more of a step up, and people get excited about the new guys who they throw all this weight behind, and they say this is the next guy,
This is
and
the
then he
next guy
goes up
up.
and he faces competition a little bit better, and they're like, oh, he didn't quite run through him. Maybe we need to slow this train down a little bit. And I'm kind of wondering if this isn't going to be kind of that fight. So
Mm,
we'll see. He's young, he's hungry, but the other guy's hungry too. So
okay.
I think I think Mechanico's the type that can knock you out if you're not disciplined. So I'm picking Beisinger in this, but maybe it's not quite as easy as his last fight.
Noted. Noted. Okay. Um, Fatima Klein coming up against Angela Hill in the next one. We had a discussion off camera about Angela Hill's resume. Confirmed today, she has not been knocked out in her professional career. Um,
Okay.
Going against a 8-1 prospect. I wouldn't want to say prospect, but has had, if I'm not mistaken, 3 main card UFC fights. Finished 2 of those, lost one. Has 3 finishes in her last 5 fights. The striking looks pretty smooth from what I could tell. Um, but we know Angela is very durable and very game,
Mhm.
and knows how to work her way to the scorecards. Um,
Yeah.
I do think it could come to an end this week, though.
You think so?
I do. I think she.
What makes you
I
think
think
that?
she trusts her hands a lot. Um, at 40, obviously she's very experienced. So if she feels herself in
Hmm.
danger, maybe she'll start shooting. But I feel like the danger could come quicker and in a lot more. The shots will start adding up a lot more quickly than
Hmm.
the previous people she's fought on the feet. Again, I think Klein's a very talented striker. Um, and it won't be a situation. I feel like it could be a strong hit, a knockdown, and then a quick flurry where Angela won't be able to recover. I
Hmm.
feel like we could get in kind of that realm. Um, so obviously my pick is Klein in this one. Um,
Gotcha.
Everybody hasn't been knocked out until they have been, right? We're looking at
Correct.
like Max Holloway's and guys like that who they walked around with the Iron Chain tag until it gets
Yeah.
tagged. Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like at 40 years old has
Hmm.
been in a few wars in there. Um,
She's been in a lot of wars.
Yeah, I think this is kind of you come up against a prospect that's quicker, that's sharper. This could be the spot that really is dangerous. And on a card of this level, I think this prospect wants to make a name. And Angela Hill is a great name to add to your resume, especially as the first person to
Yeah.
potentially knock her out. So, yeah,
Yeah.
give me Klein by finishing this one, for great
Okay.
value if you check it out on the books
All right. I'm gonna go Klein with a decision.
with a
I think Angela.
decision.
Yeah, I can't go against Angela Hill to get a knockout or to be knocked out. I've seen her in too many wars
She's
where she
too
just
she's
keeps
too
going.
good.
Even when she's getting beat, she just
Mm-hmm.
keeps going. And I think she's got the experience. I think she's got the conditioning, and I think she's got the will to keep going and try to finish the fight and hope for the best. Even if she's losing during the fight, she's
Yes.
going to make it go to the judges when she can. And being that Klein, her best weapon seems to be with her hands,
Yeah.
I think Hill's skilled enough to stay away from that. And even if she loses the fight, then it goes to a decision.
Okay. So
And
you
I'm
think
gonna go
she'll make it to the
with
bell?
Klein to win that by decision.
So
Yeah,
she
I
makes it
think
to the
she'll make
bell.
the bell.
Okay. I mean, she's made
By the
it
way,
every
she has.
time in her career. I think. I don't know if she's been submitted. I didn't go that deep, but in terms of finished, like by knockout or
Yeah.
anything, um, has not seen it. I'm gonna have you take over calling out the fights. By the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Before we move on,
Hmm.
Angela Hill is 18-15 as a record,
Yeah.
and she is ranked number 12.
Ye-
So, um,
So
the
why
the
did you bring
women's
this to my
fights,
attention, sir?
just because the depth
Yeah.
is not there. Um, Now you could argue that somebody that deep in their career, you know, on the men's side, could be a huge name and still have that record, but
No.
they're not going to be ranked.
No, they're not gonna be
BJ
ranked.
Penn
No.
towards the end of his career, had lost a lot of
Cerrone.
fights. He was nowhere near what he was. Yeah, but they're not going to be ranked. And I just think that just kind of shows how shallow the division is. So it's there for the taking for any of the ladies who want to get up there. It is there for the taking,
Yeah,
at least to be highly ranked.
I think Klein firmly grasps it tomorrow.
Think she gets ranked?
If she
She'll be
knocks her
ranked
out,
after that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she knocks her out, yeah. If it goes to a finish, maybe not. Maybe they give her somebody else before she
Yeah.
gets in there. Or if she gets ranked as 15
Hmm.
for knocking her out for a decision, but she might take her 12 if she knocks her out.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Next fight, featherweight bout. Pat Sabatini
Hmm.
versus, I don't know how to say his first name, Chape Mariscal.
Okay. Um,
Um, what you
how
think
much
about
you
that
know
one?
about these guys? I know Sabatini's a little bit of a ground specialist. Um, One of his more recent fights, he finished by submission off the back. Uh, got a rear naked choke while standing. So I know he's going to be playing that kind of game. I'm a little bit unsure about the other guy. Um, so if I'm kind of approaching this fight just kind of blindly, I think I'm leaning with Sabatini um, to come through with one of those
Okay.
ground and survive type specials. Maybe he gets a submission on the opponent, but in a 3 round fight, a guy with that level of skill off the mat and off his feet
Hmm.
in terms of like grappling style, uh, could make a 3 round fight very long.
Yeah.
Right, so
The,
I'm leaning with Sabatini in this one.
I'm leaning with Sabatini too. Mariscal is very well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Grappling, striking, pretty well rounded. The momentum going into the fight is for Sabatini. Um, so I'm going to go with him. Don't know too much about either one of these except Sabatini. I've seen him. Mariscal, I saw his last fight. I don't remember too much from it, so it wasn't very
Memorable.
memorable
Yeah.
for me. But I would go with Sabatini in this one. No, no call on how it finishes.
Just to take this win, however it comes.
That's right.
I respect it. I
And
respect it.
leading up to the headliner of the early prelims, we've got your man, Gerald Mearshart, against Kyle Dawkins.
My man, huh?
Gerald Mearshart is a plus 330.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Dawkins a minus 425.
Okay.
So, um, Kyle Dawkins is coming off of a win over Michelle Pereira, however
Yes.
you say that name.
Cow- uh,
Um,
Cowboy, but Brazilian cowboy.
yeah, I've always liked him. I like the way
He's
he fights.
so
He's a little bit
exciting.
wild.
Yeah.
He's aggressive. I hate to see him lose.
He got TKO'd,
I
which, I won't say questionable stoppage. Definitely rightful stoppage. He was eating elbows, but
Yeah.
yeah, Dowcus won in a big way.
So Mearshart lost to Michelle Alexiejuk. I can't say his name. The Russian,
The
who is now
Russian.
part of the Fighting Nerds,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
like to watch him fight. I just don't like to pronounce his name.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but Mearshart coming
But
off a loss to him, and I believe it was a knockout loss, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah, it
Uh,
was. He got slept. Yeah,
so
he's gotten
um,
slept. I think 2 of his last 3, if not 3 of his last 3.
yeah, he's 37-20.
Mm,
Uh, he's an older guy.
mm.
No offense, I'm an older guy, but I'm not fighting in the UFC. So,
You're a bit past your
Kyle
prime, but it
Dawkins,
doesn't matter, huh?
yeah, Kyle Dawkins win by submission.
By
That's what I'm gonna go
submission,
with. By submission, yeah,
I think that's like I haven't looked at the odds. Obviously, I can't right now, but I think that's like plus 1,500 or plus 2,000 or something like that. It's something crazy, something
yeah.
outlandish.
I think he gets it. I think he gets him on the feet
Hmm.
um, to go down to the ground, and from there he goes to submit him.
Okay, it might not be plus
So,
two
what do
thousand or
you
plus
see?
1,500, but it's very high. It's the highest options out of all 3. I think it's by finish. If you want to play it safe, take it by finish. I think by finish is still plus money. I think it could be
Mm.
by KO, which is plus 190. Um, you could sprinkle either side of that, but again, you could go safe. And just take it to not go the distance and for Kyle Daukaus to win. Put those together. Even if it's a little plus 100 or plus 150. I feel like it's free money. This is not gambling advice. Do not listen to me and pull the Voya financials and put it on any of these picks. But this is one of the more sure things on the card.
Yeah.
This is not gambling advice,
Um,
but this is one of the more sure fights on the card. Mearshart is about
if you,
4 fights too many, still being on his contract.
yeah,
And for some reason, we keep trotting him out there. Uh, and this is just a bad matchup to come back to for him. He's a decent ground guy, but if they were
he is a good ground guy.
looking for him to be successful, we don't give him Kyle Daukaus off a big win against Brazilian Cowboy, Pereira. We give him somebody who's maybe also pillow-handed and wants to get into that grappling exchange, right?
Yeah.
But no, we give him Kyle Daukaus, who looked pretty serious last time out. So when the UFC puts somebody up for sacrifice, I pay attention.
Yeah.
And I try to financially benefit off that as well. So give me Kyle
Okay.
Daukaus.
All right. So the next one, you mentioned earlier that we had a change in this, but undefeated Malcolm Wellmaker, exciting Malcolm Wellmaker against Ethan Ewing, the last minute replacement. He fought 5-6 days ago. He is on an 8-fight win streak.
Nice.
He fought November 7th against Billy Brand, and he won that fight by punches in the first round. So he's already, and he is coming up in weight class, I believe, because he is a bantamweight.
Yeah.
So he is coming up to featherweight for this fight. So the weights will probably not be too big of an issue. It does suck to have to do another weight cut. Most of these guys are not coming up from the weight class above them. They're coming up for 2-3 weight classes up is what they walk around at. So he will still have to cut weight.
They did a catch weight,
and
though,
we'll
I think,
talk.
to help him out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did a catch weight to help him out.
Okay. Well, good. So he's coming in on an 8-fight win streak, helping out the company and taking on Malcolm Wellmaker, who is not an easy fight.
Nope.
I'm still going to take Malcolm in this.
Yes.
You might get a little bit more of a feel-out process because you got less time to study for the guy. I don't know how much film Wellmaker does and how much film Ewing does, but I would expect the first round to be
Downloading
traditionally a feeling out process. Yeah. And so now one of them could say, I don't care, I'm taking it to him. Try to get that surprise. So I could see that. And if that's the case, I could see either guy doing it, because it might not be expected and they might want to catch the guy off guard. But I'm still going to take Wellmaker in this one. What do you say?
I'm leaning Wellmaker as well, but I do think the unknown is something that we do have to kind of account for. Coming up to a weight is not ideal for the guy filling in either. Unless he's traditionally unless it's a hard weight cut for when he's coming up, which I'm unaware. But coming up to a bigger range when you know how the weight bullying kind of goes. The power is different going up there. And Wellmaker is already a very talented striker and lander of power shots. I do feel like if I'm Wellmaker, I'm going to want to feel this out because I'm still fairly new on the scene. I have some exciting knockouts, but from a skill perspective, we haven't really had enough time to see what he has for someone. That's why I was excited to see this original one where he was only like a minus 150 favorite and the other dude was a ground guy. And we probably were going to see him have to, work out of scrambles, have takedown defense. We might not have to see that now, but what will Wellmaker be when he is put in a position to go off script because he really doesn't know what he's facing? If he was preparing for a takedown guy this whole camp and this guy comes in and
Hmm.
he is a talented striker, who knows, right? Not to make light of the other guys that Wellmaker fought, but they were there to be hit, and their return, the punches they were given in return, weren't anything of much consequence. So I think Wellmaker gets the W because I do think he's a talented guy. But I do think the unknown makes it even still interesting to watch what could come out of this one. Um, but if I was going
Yeah.
specific,
Well,
I would go Wellmaker by finish in the second round because I do think the first round is a feel out fight round for both fighters for sure. Maybe not so much for the other guy. I think he'll just
mhm.
probably blitz, go
Well,
against
just
script and go. But yeah,
a few stats from Tapology on this guy.
yeah,
Um, he is 30% of his wins are submission,
okay.
13% wins are to decision, 75% of wins are TKOs.
Hmm.
So he finished his last 5 punches in the first round, head kick first round, TKO round 3, unanimous decision, TKO round 2, Darstroke KO in round 2, and KO round 1 15 seconds. That's what his resume looks like.
He could be
But
dangerous,
it's a weight
man.
class down. He's coming up to a higher level. Yeah, he's coming up to a higher level of competition. Um, Obviously, no slouch, but we're going to stick with Wellmaker in this one.
What those also tells
On
me
to
is
the
that he's
next one,
gonna
a
be
women's
in that range
flyweight
too.
bout.
Just to not to carry this on too long, but he's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
in range. What that tells me is that he's gonna be in range as well. Um, just based on those
Yeah.
finishes,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be playing the game, so it'll
Yeah.
be exciting fight still. Still tune in.
Yeah. I hope it'll be an exciting fight.
Hmm.
Um, so, women's flyweight,
Yeah.
number 4, Aaron Blanchard.
Hmm.
Versus number 8, Tracy Cortez. Aaron Blanchard is the favorite in this one to win.
Hmm.
It does look to me that they are trying to build Tracy Cortez. Um, and I think she's going to run up against Aaron Blanchfield, who is probably going to take a decision win in this one.
Okay.
That's how I see it coming out. Both of them, I believe, have 2 losses. Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez are both 12-2.
Mm.
What do you think?
So apparently, I found out today they fought pre UFC about 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago. Um,
Oh yeah.
Blanchfield was considerably younger.
Okay.
And Tracy Cortez snuck out a decision that day. Um, I do believe Blanchfield is a better all around fighter than Tracy Cortez. Now I think she's developed pretty well. Um, I do think this won't be a fight that finishes before the bell. I think it does go the distance. I think it might end up being a split decision
Okay.
because Tracy Cortez could make a fight look good for sure. She's decent on the feet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Cortez also always has a rough weight cut. Her weight cut went a lot better than the last few she's had. So maybe that'll lead to a little bit more
That's
energy in
right.
this
I
one
forgot
too.
about that.
Yeah. So um, there's a lot to look at here. Me personally, as a guy who likes to dabble, I'm staying away from this fight completely. But
Completely.
picking aside, yeah, I don't. I mean, if I was to pick, I'd probably go for the distance, which is probably like minus 400. Not worth it. Don't play games with those.
Yeah.
But I hope for an exciting fight at least, especially on this card that I think it's in an interesting position because it's gonna be behind, like it's gonna be ahead of some really good fights, and then
Yeah.
there are gonna be some really great fights after it. So
Yeah.
I hope it could keep the momentum, but I still think it goes decision, and I'm gonna take Blanchfield to win on points and not really control time,
Okay.
but just having the better exchanges and maybe playing a better game of evading
Yeah.
Cortez's pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now for an exciting fight we've been talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
Roman Kopylov, Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop.
Mm-hmm.
Middleweight bout.
Mm-hmm.
Rodriguez the favorite in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Kopylov, a personal favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a little bit of a rough go of it lately.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see this one playing out?
A little history for
Hmm.
anybody who's been listening to us cover the UFC for years, and then now me and Roger covering the UFC for the last few months. This is the first time we mentioned Roger on the pod. Was a Roman
Yes,
Kopylov
it
fight.
is.
Because Roger told
Oh,
me
don't
how
remind me.
big, how cool of a fighter, and fluid, and he skilled in both spots, and he lost that fight, but
Handily. Well, not
it was pretty handily.
terribly.
It was pretty handily. It wasn't a split decision by any sense of the word, but he came through with a couple wins after that.
Yes.
Has had a rough go recently, but he's running into a. This fight should have been in October because Gregory Rodriguez embodies everything about a scary opponent in the
Yeah,
UFC.
he
He's
does.
visually scary. His fight style is scary. He has like an ominous walk and pressure that he applies in there.
Yeah.
He's robotic, hence the RoboCop.
Yes.
Um, he takes damage very well because it's like I don't know. It's like the damage he took in the last fight and just how like his pores bleed because he's had so much damage on his face.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like cuts anymore. It just looks like when you squeeze a sponge and suds come out. His top layer of skin just starts oozing blood. It's really wild. But I do believe Roman Kopylov is a more fluid fighter. I don't know if he'll stand there to be hit. My issue with Kopylov is I've seen what happens when he gets hit, and he can
Hmm.
be chin checked.
Yeah.
And I don't know if his takedown ability is going to translate very well on a guy of Rodriguez's stature. Um, and for these reasons, I am taking Rodriguez RoboCop to win this fight, and I don't think it goes to decision. I think even though both fighters have a tendency to kind of play it safe sometimes, Rodriguez got a very good finish in his last one. Probably got if I'm not mistaken, he got the fight bonus off of that one as well. And the ability to skip the line a little bit or financially benefit from having another great performance like that off a fighter that you know can be dropped will incentivize
Hmm.
him to play that game and be in the pocket. Especially when, at least recently for me, I've seen guys kind of be okay hanging in there with Kopylov and exchanging shots. Yes, Kopylov has
Right.
had a knockout win, but last time out against Paulo Costa, as soon as Costa felt like the punches coming back weren't as detrimental as the punches going out, he played that game and just outstruck him all night. Um,
Yeah.
I think if he plays that game with RoboCop, I think if Kopylov plays that game with RoboCop, it's a losing game. So give me RoboCop by
Hmm.
finish.
All right. You got a round?
I'd probably lean like round one, man. I think it's gonna be like
Round
yeah.
one.
If it's not round one, it's not going to go to round three. So I'll take the under 2.5 rounds. I think that's something I did take was Gregory Rodriguez in under 2.5 rounds, and I think I got it for like plus 260. I do like those odds.
Okay. All right. Um. So why I liked Kopylov
Yes.
and why I still continue to like Kopylov. Kopylov has a dog in him. I like those fighters. I like the ones that are aggressive, that are going to be after it. They're going to have grit,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just going to keep moving forward. And I think Kopylov embodies that. Now, I told you all of that, and he was going against Fluffy Hernandez
Yes.
in that fight that he
Yes.
lost. And he got knocked for not having a ground game against Fluffy Hernandez because people didn't realize that Fluffy had
That
just
Fluffy
beaten
was a
Rodolfo
beast. Yeah.
Vieira, and he was a beast, and he did have a good ground game. His ground game was better than Kopylov's, and Kopylov's was not that bad in that fight. It seemed coming off of it like it was terrible. Go back and watch it. It really wasn't that bad. Uh, Kopylov can endure a lot, but so can RoboCop.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my heart wants to say Kopylov is going to win this one and surprise the world. Uh,
Isn't he favored?
It doesn't matter if he's favored or not. People don't think he's going to win that. Vegas might think he's favored.
I mean, they
Um,
said the odds, man. I mean,
no, RoboCop is favored.
okay,
Yeah,
RoboCop
he's
is
a
favored.
plus 154,
Okay.
according to UFC's website.
Got you.
Um, I'm going to go with Kopylov to win this one on a decision.
Okay.
Outstrike RoboCop.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rodriguez has the harder hands. There's no doubt about it. Um, I'm going to go with Kopylov to be able to evade him a little bit and land more shots. He beat Chris Curtis the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Rodriguez is much more aggressive than Chris Curtis is. So I'm gonna stay with Kopylov on this one. Um, but I can see why everybody's taking Rodriguez. You know, chances are he's gonna win that. But I'm gonna stick with Kopylov. I'm gonna stay loyal to him. You know, if you're dabbling, you might not want to stay loyal because you might lose those. But I'm gonna stay loyal to him. I'm gonna pick Kopylov.
I mean, I think there is a path to victory for him. Like I started off saying he's the more fluid fighter,
And moving on,
and I think he can do
a
that. So I don't disagree with you that there's a potential, there's a pathway. There's a pathway. It's definitely gonna have to be by decision, I think. So
so middleweight bout,
mm-hmm.
prelim headliner,
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nickel, Adolfo Vieira, who we just mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
This is a grappler on grappler. Adolfo Vieira is a world champion, high level Brazilian Jiu Jitsu player.
Mm-hmm.
He is top notch with his grappling.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nickel is a top tier, historically good American college wrestler, um, 3-time national champion at Penn State. I mean, he is good. So, both of them have suspect striking. I would lean towards Vieira having the better striking. Do you think the wrestling or the jiu-jitsu wins out here?
I do want to also preface
Or do
that
you think it goes another way?
I think that this fight should have been behind the RoboCop fight. I think RoboCop and
Mm-hmm.
Kopylov should have headlined the prelims. Now that I got that out the way,
Yes, I agree with that.
I think this is an interesting one. I think that Fluffy Hernandez fight did a lot for Adolfo Vieira. Um, I think if you polled most of the UFC fans pre Hernandez beating Vieira, they would tell you that Bo Nickel is a significantly better wrestler in terms of MMA compared to Hernandez, and that was a strength that he'd be able to use against that type of opponent, right? Um, I think Vieira would agree as well. I think Vieira might still agree, and for those reasons, I think he might not play the ground game with Bo Nickel because he lost the ground game against Hernandez, who most would still consider a less talented wrestler than Bo Nickel. I watched.
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah,
When you're talking about American wrestling,
for sure.
he does not have the credentials.
No.
But he is still good.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Rodolfo recently beat Tresean Gore, right? Tresean Gore is not good, but he recently beat Tresean Gore. Am I wrong in that one?
In his last fight, he did.
Yes.
No, he beat him in his last fight.
And it was all walking
No.
down and confidently striking, and Tresean was feared, completely timid to get into any exchanges with Rodolfo in fear that Rodolfo was going to take him down. Rodolfo didn't look amazing on the feet. Tresean was just so hesitant to play the ground game with him that Rodolfo was able to successfully walk him down and walk him around the ring and get some confidence striking. All of that to say this. I think Rodolfo's aim is to avoid a wrestling match with Bo Nickel. I think Bo Nickel's aim is to play that wrestling game but also semi-avoid getting into a significant striking match with Rodolfo. I think that leads to a little bit of a stalemate.
Yeah.
Whichever guy is able to impose their will wins it. In my opinion, I think the best bet on the board is Rodolfo Vieira by decision, because I think he'll be able to look a
Ooh.
little bit more competent on the feet against a Bo
Mm-hmm.
Nickel. If Bo Nickel
Yeah.
wins, that means he was able to get him against the cage and play that game. Um, and Bo Nickel by decision isn't crazy either. It's not that great of odds because
No.
that's how they see him winning. But Bo Nickel by submission isn't crazy either, because if he gets him on the ground, I do
Mm-hmm.
believe he could put him in some very dangerous positions. The only issue is what made Hernandez very dangerous against Rodolfo Vieira is in those exchanges and submission attempts, Hernandez had very talented strikes to keep
Yes, he
Vieira
did.
at bay. Bo Nickel's striking ability still looks very rudiment, like basic. Um, so in closing, I'm going with Rodolfo Vieira by decision most likely. And I'm comfortable
All
taking
right.
Rodolfo Vieira to win that fight against a Bo Nickel, which they have
Okay.
very close at Vegas right now.
Yeah. So if I'm Bo Nickel, I'm not. You know, he's obviously got a lot more experience than I do when it comes to wrestling.
Yes.
We mentioned Fluffy Hernandez earlier and him not being of the pedigree that Bo Nickel is. However, if I'm Bo Nickel and I've got an opponent like Vieira,
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the Hernandez fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching what he does. I'm watching how he wrestles. That is a different style of wrestling than almost anybody else was doing in the UFC. I think you're going to see it a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
especially from your experienced wrestlers. The way he gets behind somebody and he's not really trying, he's only controlling their body. Um, he's not necessarily trying to advance a position to get them further on the mat. They can be on their knees. He'll sit behind them. He's not going to lace the legs up. He's not going to put himself in a position where they can roll on him. You know, he's going to trap that leg behind him. There's a lot of things there that Hernandez does very well.
Mm-hmm.
That if I'm Bo Nickel, I am trying to implement all of those things and see if I can't piggyback off of that to a win on off Vieira because traditional folk style wrestling and the freestyle wrestling is different than what Aaron Hernandez does. But what Aaron Hernandez does is very effective, and it's not very common. So far, I've seen a few guys implement it afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
after he's come on. But Bo Nickel, I think, would be wise to do something like that if he gets down there where he's, you know, Vieira's able to get his guard, and you know they're able to be very close together. Where Vieira can move and do some things, I think that puts Bo Nickel in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, I do think if Bo Nickel is serious about MMA, which I'm not convinced of that, if he's serious about it and he's really training, I think he wins this fight. If he loses this fight, I think this is probably the end of the line for Bo Nickel's hype train.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to have any hype behind him whatsoever. If he's 1 foot out the door towards wrestling more,
Mm-hmm.
I think this pushes him all the way out. So for that reason, I'm leaning towards Vieira to win the fight. Because I just don't know how committed Bo Nickel is. If he's committed, I think he's going to win the fight, but I won't know that until they fight.
Yeah.
You know, if he's really made strides on the striking, if he's really committed to doing this. Now, him not being committed, he's still one of the best wrestlers in the
Oh
world.
no, for sure.
You know, might not be winning world championships, but he's still one of the, you know, top 1% wrestlers in the world. He's that good. He's that talented. But if he's not really in it and he starts getting punched in the face, you might see him fold. So for those unknowns, I'm gonna go with Vieira. I
Yeah.
know Nickel's the favorite, but I'm gonna go with Vieira to want it a little bit more.
Yeah. And Vieira is the underdog in this one. So in terms of like value, do with that as you will. But
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a great one. I think it's gonna be a pretty
the
even
heart.
matchup. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely. I understand where you're coming from with that for sure. Because in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
think
talent, yeah, in a lot of areas, I feel like Bo Nickel, his strongest talent outweighs Vieira's strongest talent if they were to go in just trying to impose that will. But we don't know what Bo Nickel we're gonna get when he goes in there. So I think that's a good point.
yeah, you know, heart's everything in that sport,
Hmm.
and if you're not 100% in it, it's going to be a rough night. So,
That's fair.
heading to the next fight, we are heading into the main card. Benoit Saint Denis
Hmm.
coming off of a win over Ruffy, who is highly touted.
Hmm.
They thought he was the next big thing, and Benoit Saint Denis dominated him,
Yes.
and he is going to be fighting Benil Dariush, who's coming off of a win off of Moicano,
Hmm.
one of the fan favorites. Dariush did not make weight for this fight.
No.
He was over by a little over a pound.
Yes.
Second time in his career he's missed, but a little over a pound.
Hmm.
Um, he won his last fight where he didn't make weight. That's one of the things with not making weight. I wish they would call the fight right there. If you don't make weight, you don't fight.
Yeah.
I do and believe in most occasions it gives the person who didn't make weight a little bit of an advantage because they didn't have to go all the way down. Now his was only a pound. Uh, it's not a lot.
No.
But I do wish they would get that straightened out somehow. Um, what do you think about this fight?
Dariush is coming off of a fighter that I think was living off of um taking advantage of some not lucky spots. We're never gonna call it lucky spots. It's fighting at the end of the day. Um, but some opportunistic
Yeah.
wins when his skill set probably didn't line up or align with a lot of those opportunities as he was on his hot streak. Um, Benoit Saint Denis took a very bad loss against Poirier, came back and took out one of the fighting nerds who has a lot of potential, but just like his teammates, Prates and um, Silva, they haven't shown a consistent, well rounded game. So there are areas that could be taken advantage of, and Saint Denis did that. I am leaning with the guy who's taking out competition that has very talented, dangerous skill sets, but maybe not as clean in as much areas over the guy who's beating a guy who probably shouldn't have been where he was for a lot of those opportunities, if you catch my drift. Um, Dariush is a little bit slower. I feel like he'll be a little bit more labored, and I think Saint Denis will be able to use that to his advantage, and I think Saint Denis gets this win. I don't necessarily have a style of win. I do think um, he could outstrike him. I've watched Dariush take a punch and give one stronger back. I've seen him use that iron chin.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Saint Denis get dropped also. So I don't know if he's going to want to get into necessarily a
Mm-hmm.
firefight with a guy who also didn't make weight. Um, but I think he could
Right.
win this fight against Dariush. Um, and I think the odds are close enough where I'm willing to just dabble there. But if I was to pick a style of
Okay.
win, give me Benoit Saint Denis by decision.
Did you say by submission?
Decision. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
decision.
to the bell. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, you were breaking up there on my end. After you said
Tends to
decision,
happen.
what
Yeah.
was that?
Oh, that's all I said. That ended on decision. That ended on he will win with the fight going the full length. I didn't have anything else. I wanted to hear your take. Do you think they get into a wrestling match? Um, do you think they get into a striking match? How do you see the fight playing out?
I think I think they keep it on the feet for a while. I think eventually it does get into a grappling match. I don't know either guy's got um, too much of an advantage here. I do think Dariush, just off of some of the fights I've seen him in,
Mm-hmm.
he's in um, what's the word I'm looking for? Unexpectedly strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
and so he's going to have a little bit of bullish strength, I think.
Yeah,
So we'll see if Denise can turn some of that momentum or strength or kind of use that against him. But and he's actually got really good kicks. I don't hear many people talk about Dariush's kicks, but I've seen him throw some really good kicks there.
he does. Yeah.
Um, I think Saint Denis is the favorite in this fight. Um, I'm gonna take Dariush for the upset.
Okay.
I just think he goes in and he's too powerful. Um, he's not the favorite, but I'm gonna take him for the upset.
And your point of victory for him is just overwhelming power. So you feel like he'll be able to drop Saint Denis, or do you think he'll be able to do enough damage where it'll be very clear who's the winner after 3 rounds?
I think it goes to the bell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it goes to decision, but I do think it's going to be too much power for Denise.
Okay.
There's paths for both guys to win it. It's going to be a close fight, I think, but I'm going to go with Darius to pull this one out. Last run for a possible title fight, probably for him. He is the older fighter, I believe, and he graded a little early, so he seemed like the older fighter for a while.
I know about
But
graying early. I get it. I get it, Dariush.
but I
Graying early ain't bad.
yeah, but he's been in the game a while. This will probably be a last grasp for a title shot for him. So he's got to win this fight, and so I'm gonna pick him. I think he's too much for Denise right now, and he's not gonna be overwhelmed by the grappling game like Rufy was.
Got you.
So that's where I land on that one. All right, on to number 4 welterweight versus number 9 welterweight.
Mm,
From England,
mm,
Leon Edwards,
mm-hmm.
former champion.
Yep.
From Brazil, Carlos Prates.
Mm-hmm.
Striking phenoms, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we will see. I don't think we're going to see much grappling in this one at all. I think you're going to see a stand and strike fight.
Yes.
Um, one of the more exciting fights on the card, if you take skill for skill, besides big name, and for this card to be an exciting fight, this fight to be one of the more exciting fights, like that's really saying something for both of these guys. This card is so stacked, and to put this one as one of the more exciting fights, this is strength on strength, and both men willing to fight strength on strength. Um, if one of them goes out there and takes a shot on the other guy, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
Really?
Sometimes you have, yeah, sometimes you have people, um, you know, oh, the other guy's really good, so I'm going to stay away from his striking, even though my striking might be good.
Yeah.
You take two guys that are both wrestlers and they end up with a 15 or 25-minute stand-up kickboxing fight
Oh
that's
yeah.
less than spectacular. So this one, I think Leon Edwards is fine to stand and strike with Prates, and I think Prates is more than happy to stand and strike with Edwards, and I think their willingness to put both their strengths forward in this and accept that kind of fight from the other person,
Mm-hmm.
I think is going to make an explosive fight. Prates coming out a little bit on the idea that Leon Edwards will quit and be a quitter because he's quit once. If he does it once, he'll do it again. I don't ascribe to that. I think people learn from their mistakes sometimes. Now, that doesn't mean it won't be true in this case, but I just think that I disagree with Prates on that. People learn from their mistakes, and I think this is going to be a really good fight. I don't have anybody to pick.
Okay. So you're not picking
What about
anyone
you?
because that's not the name of the game. You got to pick someone.
I'm picking everybody to win in this fight.
Oh my gosh, That's a cop out. Oh my
Everybody's
goodness.
gonna win in this fight.
Here we go.
Um, a cop out. Okay. All right.
Somebody's got to win.
You, if
Somebody's
you
hands
want,
are getting raised
oh,
at the end of it.
if if you want a real pick in this fight, um, look at Leon Edwards.
Okay.
I
He is
think
fighting
Leon
for his
Edwards.
life, I feel like.
If you're not trying to wrestle Leon, I don't know that you're going to be able to outstrike him. And while Carlos Prates is an exciting striker,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's nothing Leon Edwards hadn't seen before.
Okay.
So it's a good fight, but I think Edwards is going to be too much. I think he's going to strike harder, and I think he's going to kick harder. And from that perspective, uh, I'm gonna go with him to beat Prates.
I don't know. I think that's a good.
What do you think?
I think that's an interesting pick. Um, the lead up to this fight has been kind of layered as Leon Edwards has been in quote unquote um, grappling hell these last few fights, going against guys who are very talented grapplers. Obviously, the Sean Brady's of the world, the Bilal Muhammad's of the world, the Kamaru Usman's of the world, right? Um, but before this run, Leon Edwards himself, though talented as a striker, was also putting a couple guys on their backs with decent wrestling prowess. Yes, he's
Mm-hmm.
seen people like Prates before, but he hasn't seen people like Prates at this stage in his career. The guys he's been coming up against recently,
Mm-hmm.
though talented, are not as gifted from a striking perspective, or not as quick, um, and aren't as creative, right? If he gets into a striking match with any of these guys, Leon Edwards is usually the quicker one. That goes all the way back to Usman. I don't think I'm crazy in that analysis. If
No.
his aim is to stand and strike with this guy, the punches are going to come back faster. Obviously, he has training partners and all this stuff, but the punches are going to come back faster and at crazier angles than he's used to the last couple years. And that's dangerous because we watched a very aged Nate Diaz catch him with something unexpectedly years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was not fast Nate. It was just Nate, who's a little bit more of a creative striker
It
than
was not
anybody else
what?
that he fought. It wasn't fast Nate, like quick twitch Nate. Like Nate just threw
Oh yeah.
something and caught him, something creative and caught him. Prates, however,
Yeah.
has length and creativity and youth on his side, and if it gets into the strength that Prates has, which is striking, Leon doesn't have reach and doesn't have a good enough defensive striking tool bag like say a Ian Gary does. So I think it could be a dangerous game, and I would see Prates winning that game. I, however, do believe Leon
Okay.
Edwards will shoot, so that is something to look out for. My
You
pick,
do.
yes, my
You
pick
think
is
he's gonna shoot?
100%. My pick is that Prates wins, but if there's a path to victory for Leon, it's Leon by decision with over 2.5 takedowns. That's my ribbon on the whole fight. Is if it stays on the feet, it doesn't go to the bell, Prates wins. If Leon decides to try to put Prates in grappling hell, Leon will take it to the bell and win by decision.
Okay. Now, for some perspective, because Leon Edwards is the older fighter,
Mm-hmm.
but only by 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're closer.
And the
They're
cigarettes probably
closer
put him even closer than
in
that.
age. That the cigarettes definitely put him closer than that. Um, you know, I think Leon has a good camp that he's with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'll see. We'll see. I think, though, as I said before, I think everybody wins in this fight.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be an explosive fight. And if it's not, I will be disappointed. It is
100%.
MMA. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welterweight fight. This is a contender fight.
It is.
Michael Morales,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Brady.
Yes.
Morales is number 8. Sean Brady is number 2, waiting for that title shot and seems to be content waiting for that title shot, as we spoke about it before.
Mm-hmm.
He did an interview with DC, Daniel Cormier, where he was pretty explicit about being okay if he wins this fight, having even one more fight before a title shot. Um, he does not seem to rush it. He thinks that whatever happens is going to happen. He doesn't really call anybody out so much or try to push things along. Being that he seems to be very cozy, just letting things go, he is still one of the best grapplers in this weight class. He is one of the most talented young guys in this weight class, but he is up against Michael Morales, who is possibly the most exciting person in this weight class. And considering it's the welterweight division, that is saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, having said all that, Sean Brady is the favorite. Uh, the Ecuadorian Michael Morales is got a lot of momentum coming up. He'll be calling for a title shot if he wins this, I'm sure. Whether they'll give it to him or not, I don't know. But he'll be calling for it. Who do you have in this fight and why?
The script to this fight has already been released. Sean Brady's aim is to get this on the mat. Michael Morales' aim is to not have that happen and to land heavy strikes on Sean Brady. Pretty straightforward. I think you would agree. Michael Morales has a 7-inch reach advantage on Sean Brady. That is very dangerous for a guy.
That is crazy.
That is very dangerous.
True?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I think it's a 72-inch reach for Brady I was seeing today and a 79.5-inch reach for Michael Morales. Michael Morales is also 6 feet tall. Sean Brady is 5'10". They showed him in the weigh-in standing up in front of each other. Sean Brady is 5'8". I'm sorry, Sean Brady. You tried. You were not 5'10". This is a very dangerous fight for both
maybe
guys.
He is.
No, he's not. You go check the
As
film.
someone who
He's
borders on the edge of 5'10", he might be. Who knows? Who's to say?
I stand next to you and my license
What does his license say?
I stand next to you and my license says 5'10", and we're not the same height. Anyway.
Maybe he's 5'8".
He's probably 5'8", coming from a guy who's also probably 5'8". It's a very dangerous fight for both fighters. The issue is Michael Morales is very technical striker, very strong, quite a bit taller, will be able to play at his range, quite a bit bigger naturally. There's talks of him potentially shifting to middleweight if he ever attains the welterweight belt. Makes sense. He's big as crap. He should probably already be a middleweight.
Yes.
And for those reasons, and for the value, I don't think he'll be able to impose his will on a guy this big, man. That's a lot of reach to make up. If he makes it up, kudos to him. If he gets in the pocket and is able to get Michael Morales on the mat, I think Morales will accept being down there. I don't think you'll want to put himself in a position to be submitted. I could see a lot of control time from Sean Brady if that's the route, and this fight will become, depending what you like to watch, very boring, very fast. Or Michael Morales will play on the edge of his reach and throw kicks and punches and stuff from all kinds of directions to try to keep Brady at bay and not let him in close to try to get those takedowns. Morales is a very talented, heavy hitter. Again, probably hitting welterweights with a middleweight frame by the time fight night is there. So, Brady already throwing out the fact that he's okay waiting on a championship fight makes me believe, hey man, I take a little L. It's cool. It wasn't my time yet. I'll wait. I'm sure I'll get to grapple somebody.
He's saying even if he won the fight,
I know
he would be okay waiting.
That doesn't sound good to me. Because if you lose the fight, you definitely will be okay waiting. I promise that.
Yeah.
If you get concussed or, flatlined or take a lot of damage in there and say it does make it 3 rounds still, you'll have time to wait for a title shot for sure.
Yeah.
Be waiting a while. So, um, I just it seeing the things Michael Morales has been able to accomplish again with that frame, and his trajectory. I find it really hard to think Sean Brady is going to be able to manhandle him the way that he manhandled like a Leon, who's considerably smaller than Morales is.
Yeah. I will say this for this fight. Morales is 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching for a couple years now, so he's was probably 24 or so. Um, he has fought Max Griffin, Jake Matthews, Neil Magny, and Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
Um, went to a decision against Max Griffin and Jake Matthews, but took out Gilbert Burns and Neil Magny by TKO.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gilbert Burns is late in his career, um, but he is a world class jiu jitsu guy, and Morales was able to stay away from him. I'm going with the upset on this.
Really.
Round one knockout, Michael Morales.
Really.
Yeah, it could very easily go the other way with
So
Sean Brady just creaming him, but I'm gonna go with Michael Morales, round one knockout. I see him catching him and being too much when he goes in to take him down. Morales being able to shift his hips to get good shots on him to make him come out and shoot again, and Morales taking him out probably on his way in.
Morales is very fluid too. For somebody with that frame,
Hmm.
he's pretty confident in it. I'm surprised to hear you say that. Obviously, we have talks about the fights off camera, and you're feeling very
Yeah,
patriotic about Sean Brady being able to do what he's gonna do, which is
I
play
am.
the ground
Yeah,
game. So it was interesting to see you shift to round one KO, especially. What do you think in between when we last spoke about this fight and now? What shifted your pick on this one, so to speak?
replaying Michael Morales' fights in my mind,
Yeah.
and maybe that's not a good thing to go off of, but it's definitely not a reliable thing to go off of. But replaying his fights in my mind, the way he's able to keep the fight on the feet
Hmm.
and keep it where it's advantageous for him. Um, anything can happen out there, obviously, but I just believe he's going to be able to do that against Sean Brady.
Hmm.
And I think he's going to call for a title shot, which he probably will not get, but
Hmm.
he might get a Rachmanov on his way back in from a knee injury or somebody of that caliber and put him one fight away from a championship.
Okay.
And I think he's got all the confidence and he's got the um, magneticism that people seem to be drawn to. Um, that I think he'll be able to get there faster than other people with his resume would be. I
Okay.
think he'll be able to command that much respect, especially if he takes care of Sean Brady
Hmm.
this Saturday.
If he
If he doesn't,
TKOs him or KOs him, yeah.
yeah, if he doesn't, a bump in the road for him. If he does win, I think it catapults him to the top of the division.
The risk is definitely on Sean Brady's side. I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh yeah,
From every perspective,
he's
fighting down. If you win and it isn't like exciting, yeah, you beat him, but he's not a guy who's known for grappling yet. He's early in his career. Like it's definitely a
hmm
tough one to take on, um, and doesn't give you much reward unless you're getting a title fight out of it, which he seems very content not getting, like you said. So
right. Um, yeah, I just think I think he comes out and he gets it done. I think he's got the ability to do it, and looking a little bit into his background,
hmm
he grew up doing judo.
yeah, his mom
Um,
still does
he's
judo.
done it since he was 5 years old. Um, and so he switched from judo to wrestling at 10. So he's not a slouch in the grappling.
Hmm.
So I think he's able to get it done, stay on the feet, and get a first round knockout or TKO.
Okay.
I do like Sean Brady. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's a great wrestler. He's got a real shot at the title, but I'm going with Morales.
That's fair. I understand. I understand the take. Obviously, I picked him as well, so I understand the take. Um, we'll see how it plays out. I just, for my sake and for the viewers' sake, with it being one of the last pay per views of UFC history, um, well, as of now, as a Paramount contract, one of the
Yeah.
last pay per views in UFC history. This high on the card, I hope he delivers the way I know he can. Or if not,
Hmm.
if Sean Brady does his thing, we get an exciting version of that and not a Jalton Almeida version of that. Moving on.
Yeah. Women's title shot.
Mm-hmm.
The discussion has been, is the winner of this the GOAT? Do they eclipse Amanda Nunes
People keep
as the
forgetting who
GOAT,
Amanda.
whoever wins
People keep
this?
forgetting who Amanda Nunes is. I don't mean to cut you off, but why? Why do we keep forgetting who Amanda
That
Nunes is or was?
everybody wants
She's
the
coming
here and now
back.
to be the best.
They're tripping, but I get. I
Everybody
whatever.
wants the here and now to be the best. Valentina Shevchenko, Zhang Weili.
Yeah.
Zhang Weili coming up a weight class to
Mm-hmm.
fight Valentina Shevchenko. Um, Kyrgyzstan versus China. Um, champion versus champion. Valentina Shevchenko, a lot of people forget, fought a weight class up for most of her career because the 125 division did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of those people that was caught in the middle. She had to fight bigger girls. Uh, One of her very, very few losses was to Amanda Nunes. One was a good one for Nunes. The other one was very controversial. And then when she went down to 125, of course, she's dominated since then with the blips of Alexa Grasso, who had her number,
Mm-hmm.
and
Pressure. Lots of pressure.
Zhang Weili. Yeah, Zhang Weili, one of the best fighters in her division. She has been beaten before,
Mm-hmm.
but she has shown that she can come back from that, as just like Valentina can, and uh, and we're gonna see a good fight here. It's gonna be. I don't even know if I want to say it's gonna be a striking or a grappling. Both these girls can do both.
Yeah.
These are two of the most well-rounded fighters out there, and I would put, of course, Amanda Nunes up there.
Mm-hmm.
But top-notch striking from both of them. I would say Valentina might have the advantage in that. Grappling is better, a little bit closer, but I would also probably give Valentina the edge
Advantage
in
in
that
that.
one as well. How do you see this fight?
I do believe Valentina is a more precise and accurate and composed striker than Willie is. Um,
Hmm?
I think on the ground game as well, Valentina's a little bit more calculated there. Right. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
this fight has to play out where Whaley is either going to impose pressure from the jump and not give Valentina room to breathe as a girl who probably
Mm-hmm.
should have been fighting at this weight. Because I feel like she can make this weight pretty comfortably most of her career as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's able to overwhelm the 125ers by being able to fight in that division. But if
Yeah.
she's able to implement some of the things that Grasso did well against Valentina, I think she has the strength to potentially give Valentina issues. Where
Yeah. Yeah.
I worry for Whaley is she is there to be hit. She got
Mm-hmm.
into a striking match, one of the best fights of all time, not just women's, but against Joanna Jurczyk years ago, where they just went back and forth and went at it and ate a bunch of punches on both sides. But with somebody's of Valentina's
Mm-hmm.
prowess, it's not going to go that long if you allow Valentina to hit you that much. I also saw
Yeah.
Rose drop her with a very well placed kick. Precision,
Mm-hmm.
timing,
Yeah.
execution. Something that Valentina could also have. Now, Valentina has lost a step. She's not going to be as quick in there, but I still think precision and planning could lead to her advantage against Wei Li. For those reasons, I'm leaning with Valentina Shevchenko in this one. I do think she wins. I'm not sure if it's gonna be all the way to 5 rounds, but I
Hmm.
could see it being all the way to 5 rounds. Um, I'd be comfortable saying that it is a striking game, and Valentina just layers on a whole bunch of punches and kicks in different angles, and maybe one of them drops
Yeah,
Whaley. Um, but more likely than not, I think it's just going to be a lot of back and forth, but most significant and tactical strikes will be landed by Valentina, leading to her winning a decision. Probably
gotcha.
unanimous.
So I've liked Valentina Shevchenko for a long time.
Yeah.
Her weaknesses that I've seen
Mm-hmm.
is her strikes. She's not heavy handed.
Mm-mm.
So if she's going to strike with you and if she's going to win on mostly points. She's going to hit you. She's going to hit you a lot. She's going to hit you from some different angles. She's going to be precise. She's going to be technical. She's probably the better planner of the two
Mm-hmm.
for these fights, a better tactician. Um, Wiley is aggressive,
She is.
and that's going to be I think that is what she has to lean into is her aggressiveness,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been a bully strength wise. I don't think she can be a bully in the wrestling strength wise with Valentina. Valentina has a little. Um, I don't want to compare her to Khabib, but I will say Khabib was very strong on the ground in wrestling, and once he got a hold of you, you weren't getting out. Shevchenko is very similar to that. She doesn't have heavy hands. Khabib didn't have heavy hands. But once she gets a hold of you, it's very hard to overpower her. And she's used to fighting bigger girls. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go with Shevchenko, but never underestimate that aggressiveness.
Mm-hmm.
That'll take you far, and it's possible she gets in there and she just lands the right shot that she's so aggressive. But Shevchenko's been in there with aggressive people as well, so I
She
think she's
has.
fared pretty well. So I'm gonna give her the nod in this one to come out winning.
Yeah, with the odds
Having
being
said
this
that,
close, I probably won't mess with like how they win, but I do think Val makes it out with
mhm.
the W.
So a little bit of size difference here.
Mm-hmm.
Valentina's 5'5", Wiley is 5'4".
Mm-hmm.
Um, 66.5-inch reach advantage for Shevchenko, 63-inch reach for Wiley. And Zhang is 36 years old. I didn't know she was that old.
Me neither.
And Valentina Shevchenko is 37.
She got in the game fairly late. Whaley's debut was definitely in her 30s, so
Yeah, I didn't know she was that old.
me neither. I thought she was
Uh,
like maybe 32.
I thought she was mid-20s.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't
I
have
thought she was
guessed that.
mid-20s when I started. And for some perspective here, Amanda Nunes is also 37 years old, but she is 5'8"
Mm-hmm.
with a 69-inch reach advantage. She has a 3-inch reach advantage on Shevchenko, and she is 3 inches taller
The
than
the
Shevchenko.
the reach is very
So
noticeable, and
she's a
she's in
bit
there
bigger.
striking too. So
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
but so she is noticeably bigger, but also 37 years old. So pretty much the same age as both of these. So that's kind of where we stand with that fight and the talks of who's the GOAT. We don't really need to have the conversation with this.
no,
I think I think if you believe Shevchenko won that last fight with Nunes, maybe you say pound for pound she's better, but that's probably the only angle you've gotten. The refs
debate.
called the
Yeah,
decision for Nunes, so it's never going to go that way on paper. So we actually do have a head to head in this, so it is kind of hard to say Shevchenko takes that away from her.
I
So
do also believe if
you might be
Nunes
able to
comes
make a
back,
pound for pound argument, but that's the only argument you would have.
I feel like if Nunes comes back and beats Kayla Harrison too off retirement, that'll add to the lure of Amanda Nunes, which I think is highly possible.
Yes, it
But
will.
yeah, we won't get into that one. Um,
Yeah, we'll get into that in the future
yeah, when
when
the
that
White House card
happens.
drops, because I'm sure it'll be on it.
She'll be on that card if it goes.
Yeah.
Kayla Harrison will. We'll see if Nunes actually decides that she's coming back
Mm-hmm.
and signs on that dotted line. All right, championship fight.
Ooh.
What they built this card around.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, one of the best cards. I think better than 300. I
Mm-hmm.
think the fights are better on this card. I think it's going to be more entertaining. Um,
I think I should be home
Jack Della
watching it.
Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Yeah, it would be nice.
Would be nice.
Um, Giacomo,
Is that
the
his
champion.
nickname?
Islam, the champ. I think that's his actual name. It might be his nickname though.
Yeah, I don't like
I heard
that.
it on one of the UFC put up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and somebody called him that. It might be a nickname.
Okay.
No, that is his name.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Giacomo. Giacomo.
Okay,
Giacomo.
it's interesting. Let me not make fun of somebody's name. It's
I like
definitely
it.
interesting. I thought it was like Jack and then OMO, so that makes it a lot cooler. The spelling makes it a lot cooler. Um,
Yeah.
okay, okay, I could get down with Giacomo.
Giacomo. Della Maddalena.
Mm-hmm.
What a name against Islam Makhachev.
Yeah,
And this one takes place, if you don't know these two, Della Maddalena just won the title. This is his first defense. He's been on the rise. He came from the Contender Series. He is Australian. He will be fighting Islam Makhachev out of Dagestan, Russia. Khabib's
brother essentially.
brother in, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
coming up. Um, Khabib is his coach. His dad was his coach before that. Um, Sambo up into the UFC. The only blemish on Mahachev's record is a flash knockout that happened early in his career, and he's probably been on a 20 fight win streak since then and has not been caught. He's coming up from 155 to 170, and he will fight Della Maddalena. He will try to get his second title, which is his goal. Um, and Maddalena is trying to hang on to that title.
He is.
What's your take on this fight?
This is a huge jump in competition for Jack Madalena, which is crazy to say for a guy
Hmm.
who's a champion. um,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I've been hearing the hype train, and not to seem like a conspiracy theorist, let me not put on a tinfoil hat here, but I believe everybody is doing this Jack Madalena hype train to make the money line
Mm-hmm.
odds for Islam better so they could all retire when they put it all on Islam after trying to sell me the Jack Madalena dream. I think he's a good striker. I do.
Right.
I think he had a better weight cut than
Yeah.
Islam as well, which is crazy because Islam usually weight cuts for 155. Don't know why it looks so difficult for him at
Yeah.
170. Very odd. Something to look at. But
I can see if you were complacent.
yeah, maybe because he was too comfortable and he had to rush the weight cut at the back end potentially, right? But the type of takedowns that Islam attempts are not anything
Mm-hmm.
remotely close to what Jack has experienced in the octagon yet. The little nagging reaches, the little nagging grabs, the strength, the pulls, the pushes, the trips, all of that stuff. And I feel like once Islam is able to implement that, probably really early in the fight, he's not a lay on top of you and just waste time. And I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been able to see Jack Madalena in submission defense against one of the world's greatest in that realm, right? Yeah, you just fought Bilal. Islam hung in there and struck with
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Volkanovski, who's smaller, yes, but played the striking
Mm-hmm.
game with somebody who's a very talented striker and made them fear the takedown still while looking competent enough with the hands. I don't think he's going to go in there with the idea that he's going to outstrike Jack Madalena. That would be silly, and Habib is way too calculated to put Islam in that position. Maybe you could say there's a look ahead
Mm-hmm.
spot, and that could lead to some, gaps in the game where Madalena could take advantage. I
Mm-hmm.
think Madalena's camp would be being a bit too complacent if they're making this a 1-for-1 or a comparison to okay, we just fought Bilal. It's going to be a similar style. Let's go in there and implement the same game plan. I think that would be a very dangerous decision by his camp. I hope that is not the decision. We discussed this off camera that they might be a little bit overly invested in the fact that Bilal is a part of that camp. Um, I would want to believe they're not. But all this to say,
Yeah.
Islam will have takedowns in the first round. And if it makes it out of the first round, he'll have takedowns in the second round. And I don't think it makes it past halfway through
Hmm.
the third round. I think Islam will win this by submission. Um, and take the welterweight belt. And from what it sounds like, call out Usman after the fight. Excuse me. Great win for Madalena, taking out Bilal Muhammad. I know it sounds like I'm writing this obituary, but it's hard for me to see somebody of Islam's talent level go in there against a guy like Madalena, who is not lucky to be the champ because he won that fight. He did his thing against Bilal, but I don't think he has the ground game ready to deal with the pressure that Islam's about to present. How do you see this fight playing out?
I think Islam Makhachev is going to take the title tomorrow night.
Yeah.
There are routes where Della Maddalena can win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
He does have the ability to scramble. That's one of the things they've been kind of propping him up on, and a lot of people have said that even if Makhachev takes him down, Maddalena is going to stand right back up. He's going to get out of it. He's going to scramble. Islam's not going to be able to hold him down. I don't buy that.
I don't
Um,
either.
Bilal Muhammad, for all the talk of them being chummy,
Mm-hmm.
like I believe they've trained together in the past, but I don't think Bilal Muhammad was part of the camp. Um, in all the footage I've watched and seen Khabib and his team and their camp, Bilal Muhammad's never there. Shavkat Rakhmonov is never there. So have they trained together in the past? Sure. Maybe they trained for a couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not the same as being part of that team and training with them. Islam is bigger than Bilal, I think. When they stand next to each other, he looks physically bigger. Um, he is going to have somebody who can scramble, who can try to, uh, who can try to be defensive
Mm-hmm.
against that. One person who's had some success with that was Volkanovski in their 5 round fight.
Mm-hmm.
Volkanovski dropped everything and went to his camp to train him. I did see Jack training a little bit of the style Volkanovski trains. That's one of my favorite ways to train and to see people train. I think it's the way every fighter should be trained. That's my amateur position on that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not doing shark rounds at the end where you've got fresh guys coming in on you and you're having to fight one guy for 2 minutes, they bring in a fresh guy, you're having to go against him for 2 minutes and hard. That's how Volkanovski trains. It's effective. Um, and he was putting that on Madalena some. So hopefully that's going to benefit him. But in the end, Makhachev, I think, is too much. Now, when you say you're going to put him against Usman
Mm-hmm.
after that, or not that you are, but he's going to call him out,
Yeah.
that might be a mistake.
I think so too, man. I don't. I think that
Usman is Usman is old, but don't play with
he's
him.
so
He
big
is the
still.
Nigerian nightmare
He's
for a
still
reason. He
big.
is super big for that
He's
division.
still so big.
Um, I think
Um,
that's a mistake. Don't call out Usman
I think
because if you
mobility
win,
is still be an
you're
issue
picking on an
there.
old guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you win, you're picking on the old guy. If you lose, it just cements that you weren't as good as him ever.
Yeah. And Usman, don't get me wrong, Usman's not a bad guy to lose to. Obviously, he's had a rough go and then came back and beat Buckley, but
Yeah,
we know what Usman did in that division and how he reigned terror for, granted, a couple repeat uh wins in there, which some might rate highly, some might not. Um, but he was a problem for a while, and then his hands were developing, and who
Yeah.
knows?
And he was the one that coins that. He was the one that coined that phrase in the UFC.
Hmm.
After one of his fights, he looked at the camera and said, "I'm a problem.
Yeah,
I'm a problem for this whole division."
yeah.
And now, ever since then, everybody has used that phrase. He was Khabib before Khabib was. He was terrorize you with my wrestling before anybody else was. I think it's a mistake for him to call him out.
It can be, but I still also believe like we gotta rein things in a little bit because he did lose quite a few fights before Buckley, and if we gotta be honest about the Buckley fight, Buckley was never known as a significantly strong wrestler either. Um,
Right.
Looked good in that fight. It'd be interesting to see. I think what we would see is a return of striking Usman, which I'm taking striking Usman over Islam striking by a hair because neither of them are
Mm-hmm.
really,
Every day.
proficient at striking. But I think Usman could put better combinations together, and he is a power hitter when he connects. Um, but I can
Yeah.
see that being the fight, and it would be exciting for sure. Um,
Yeah.
but I think realistically, if we want to get to the money quick, forget calling out is Usman. Let's do this superior fight at welterweight like he wants in January to open up
Oof.
Paramount, and maybe try to do it in Madrid. But knowing Makhachev being probably the A side, it'll be in Dubai. And let's run it, man. First fight on Paramount for the world to see. Two massive names. So that's what I would do. But I'm also
Okay.
not Ali
That-
Abdelaziz who trying to get bread from both sides. So
yeah.
I get his
Yeah.
stance too.
He's one of those characters. He's got to be really good at his job to still have a job.
Yeah.
He's got controversy abounding around him and has for
Years.
a couple of decades now.
Years, yeah.
He's got to be super good at his job.
Or he's got dirt on somebody. But that's just me putting the tinfoil hat on again.
Hey, listen, he might because I don't know. He represents some great fighters, and they stick with him. So I'm gonna say he's good at his job, no matter what the dirt is he's got. Maybe he's good at leveraging that dirt, but he is good at his job. Got to be. I think Makhachev wins this fight.
Yes.
I would like to see Della Maddalena win because I think I like to root for an underdog, and I do agree with you that people are hyping them up, hyping Maddalena up to try to make it look like a huge win for Islam, when I think they jumped on the chance to fight Della
Immediately.
Maddalena because he's the perfect matchup.
Mm-hmm.
They know that he is not, his strong suit is not the grappling, even though he's a black belt in BJJ. 10 years in BJJ is not the same as 20 years in combat sambo and judo and being in Dagestan. It's not the same thing. Um, and I think they jumped on the opportunity to take somebody who was a striker so that Islam could win in a fairly dominating fact. He might have went up no matter who the champion was as soon as Bilal moved over.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they jumped on it because it was Jack. I don't think there was any controversy. He was so willing to give up that title. I think he sees it as an easy fight. And that could be a downfall if he's taking it as an easy fight. I don't think Khabib will let him do that.
Preparation is like their
Maybe
thing,
Jack
man.
will.
Preparation is their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that Islam's gonna win that, and I think the bigger fight would absolutely be Topuria and Makachev at 170.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Makachev would have a chip on his shoulder because this young guy's coming up and trying to win his third title, and Makachev just got his second.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they would see it as undeserving, and I would agree with them that it's undeserving. However, it is an amazing fight if they do it.
It is an amazing fight, and we do believe that moments matter and names matter. He had very big moments against very big names, so that does have to matter. even though in terms of
Yeah.
resume and time in the game, he does not have the same run that Makhachev has. So, you know.
Right.
But again, give me that Holloway and Oliveira back to back knockouts. And Volkanovski, 3 in a row, right? Give me that three
Yeah.
fight run over a lot of the guys Islam beat in that 20 whatever streak. You take out
Yeah.
those 3 guys in a row, that means something, you know?
It
Um,
does. It does mean something. It does.
yeah, in the fashion that you took them out. It was not you snuck out a decision, it was controversy. No, it was put to bed, laid to rest. You don't have to wonder
Yep.
what if it was done. It was done. So,
Yeah.
we'll see what the future holds. We're crowning Islam the champ, but there's still a fight to be had tomorrow. We just hope that it's exciting.
Absolutely.
I feel like no matter what, we will come out of this card with very exciting moments, very exciting things to talk about, to recap. We always talk about how we're going to
Mm-hmm.
recap the previous card, but things keep happening to where we need to preview the next one, or
Oh,
or whatever the case may be. Maybe we'll do a end of month wrap on some
yeah.
of our favorite
I
moments
mean,
coming up, but we will
yeah.
definitely review
The next
this
fight
one.
night is Saruki and Hooker.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We will hopefully try a way to plan it out before
Yeah.
the Thanksgiving season so we could recap and then preview, because Saruki and Hooker I feel like has potential for um, some interesting things depending how you view Saruki and how you view Dan
Yeah.
Hooker.
And the fight night has good fights on it as well. It's a really solid fight night. Um, at least the main card is prelims. There's people I haven't heard of, but most of that main card is a good,
There's a good
going to
run
be
of
good as
cards.
well. So,
Yeah,
but that's in the future.
that is in the future. We'll make it through tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys have a good card to tune into. Hopefully, we have a lot to
Yes.
talk about when we get back. And it's been another fun episode of The Art of MMA. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Thank you. All right.
Yes, sir.